Sizzlers. Today we're making this really traditional Mexican breakfast, which is Huevos Rancheros. I know you guys have been requesting a lot of breakfast dishes, and this is one of the most famous ones, so I'm going to teach you guys how it's done. Let's get started. Alright guys, so the first step to making our Huevos Rancheros is of course making our salsa, for which I will need 3 tomatoes, 2 to boil, and this one to add on the side later. I'm going to boil the tomatoes with just 1 jalapeño because I don't want my salsa to be too spicy. Usually salsa ranchera isn't too spicy. If you want it spicier, you can always add more. And of course, I'm gonna pit this out. The tomatoes are already clean. I don't really like to peel them, it's up to you guys. So I'm going to boil it, and then we're going to blend it to make our salsa. This salsa is good for about 5 to 6 eggs. I really only cook for 2 people, so me and my husband. If you want more salsa, you can always add more tomatoes, more chile, and so on. As you can see, this is super simple. I'm putting my tomatoes and my jalapeno to boil. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes for it to start boiling and get soft. Then we'll get on with the blending. While our salsa is boiling, I'm going to be cutting up some onion and some tomato. The reason that I'm going to add this to my salsa is because I wanted to have some consistency. I'm going to cut my onion into little circles like this because I'm going to guisarla before I add to my salsa. This will definitely add some consistency and extra flavor. So we only chopped up half of an onion because the other half we're going to use to blend with our tomato and jalapeno that are boiling. So next is our tomato, and this is really what's going to end up giving it the thicker consistency because we're going to chop it up into squares. We're going to chop it up into tiny squares, not so big, so we could mash it up into our salsa, not blend it. Alright, so our tomatoes boiled and so did our jalapeno. So now it's time to add them into our blender. Like this. It doesn't matter if you add a little bit of water. I like to add a little bit of water just so it's not super thick because we are going to add a little bit of consistency later. And like I said, I don't care about peeling the tomatoes. A lot of people don't like to eat the little skin, but personally I don't care, so you can add it however you would like to. Along with this, I'm going to be adding the other half of the onion, like I said. And also, I usually just add 1 garlic clove, but these are super tiny, so I'm going to add 2 garlic cloves and a little bit of salt, not too much. Now we're going to blend this up. You don't want to put it on the smoothie section. You want to blend it up kind of like in the salsa chopped one, just so it's not super runny, but it is a little bit thick. So now that our salsa is blended, I'm going to heat up my pan and I'm going to add a little bit of oil, just about a teaspoon, because I'm going to fry my onion and my tomato. Now that my oil is hot, I'm going to add my onion and my tomato. You will immediately notice that the onion starts getting translucent and that tomato starts getting soft, and this is exactly when you want to add our salsa. You will add our salsa about 5 minutes after you start to fry it. Now that our salsa has been added, we mix it all together. You add some salt to taste, and you let it simmer. Alright, so now that the easy part is over, here comes the hard part, which is actually making the eggs. We're going to need a good amount of oil in a deep pan, just so our eggs really fry. We're going to add a good amount of oil, which I would say about 2 tablespoons. And we're going to make sure that we let it heat up. So now that the easy part is over, we're going to start on the hard part, which is actually making the huevos rancheros, for which I like some tortilla in the bottom. I already fried one, and this is what it looks like. I don't want it to be super crunchy. I just want it to be a little bit crispy, so it could hold my huevos rancheros under, and when the yolk runs, it could soak it up. Just going to add it in here, give it a quick flip, and take it right out. Now time for the actual difficult part, which is making the eggs, for which I have my good amount of oil. It's already fairly hot. I'm just going to crack my egg and just put it in here. You want to make sure to salt it. Get the spatula and add some oil. Depending on how you like it, you could flip it. If you like it really runny, you could take it out now. If you like it more cooked, you could wait until the little yellow thing, the yolk, is more cooked. I like mine over medium, so I'm going to take it right out and place it on my plate.
down.
Now I'm going to show you guys with another egg. It is a little bit scary because there's times that the oil starts jumping everywhere, but don't be intimidated. Just make sure that nothing is wet. Not your pan, not your spatula, that no water hits the oil because then it'll jump all over the place. So round 2, we get our egg, we crack it, put it in here, some salt, immediately start adding the oil. Now you flip it. And boom, it's ready. So this is what the eggs ended up looking like. And this is what the salsa looks like. So I'm just going to add some of this on top of my eggs. You see how this is so thick and the onion made it have more consistency? It also gives it a lot of flavor. Look at that. Alright Sizzlers, so this is the way that I make my eggs and my salsa ranchera. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Honestly, it is a little bit scary. I hate that the oil jumps all over the place and there's no way to avoid it, or at least none that I know of. If you guys have any tips or tricks on how to stop the oil from jumping, then please let me know. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time.